Hi, War Gamers. It's Joe. I owe you a show because of technical difficulties. So I wanted to start talking to you on this episode as Business 101. Business 101. What does that mean? I want to talk about some basics for business. We already have businesses for some of us. Some of us are employees, maybe thinking about adding a business for an income stream. But whether you have a business or you are about to put one, these are some great things for you to think about, or as well as to add to for scaling your business, expanding your business product-wise. One of the things I'm focusing on now that I want you to start focusing as well is additional products to sell to your existing clients so that they can increase their value to you because you've increased your value to them. So let's get started at Business 101. When we look at this, here's what I want you to do. For those of us that have a business already, I want you to break down your customer base. And I want to break it down this way. When I say that, this is what we're looking at. So customer segmentation, I want you to build a pyramid. Yes, I know pyramid schemes are bad. Okay, we're in business. If you are a one-person business, then you have a very tiny little triangle and your pyramid's really small. But if you have employees, it's still going to be one you that started a business. Okay, if you work for somebody in the sales world, there's still only one person at the top. And then there's going to be a bunch of people to help fulfill all of the products that you're selling. So that means we're all business is in a pyramid shape. So let's get past that one. But if you look at this one, I want you to break down your clients, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and then others. So a tier 1, guys, this is just an example of how to break it out. Depending on your products and your services that you sell is going to determine what is the value that you would put in for tier 1. So tier 1 may be somebody who spends $25,000 with you. For the example I put together right now, they spend more than $100,000 for you in a lifetime value. Now I will tell you, I would also grab this whole column and duplicate it. And when I say duplicate it, I would put one that's monthly as well, because I want to know who's paying me most frequently as well as who's paying me the most. So then that would be a second criteria to determine who's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And so you may have somebody who spends a lot of money with you, but only once a year, as opposed to somebody else who spends the same amount of money, and that same amount of money comes in frequently, let's say weekly, you're going to get your piece. So those are things I would like to factor in. And then the last one here shows a secondary element of value, which is the margin. So how much between cost and what you are doing and you're selling it for profitability, what's your margin? It's important to look at that. A lot of times we go, well, it's only my time, so it's nothing. No, your time is as most valuable as it can be, especially as the person who's the CEO, the leader, the president, right, the owner of the company. You've got to have that. But when you do this, what I want you to look at is it may be possible that you have people that are at tier 2 spending just under that limit, but they're spending it on products or services that have a larger margin. So that means your actual take home from that product sold is going to be greater. So you want to look at that. So again, maybe there's some things you have with a lower margin that you're selling at a higher price point. So you would inflate yourself and go, my sales numbers is so great. And that you could drop into your customer lifetime value, or you can make your customer lifetime value as profitability. But then you'll need to do another column that says, this is the gross sales number, so I can tell who's spending the most money with me. So hopefully that makes sense. So we're going to move on now that we've identified all of our customer base. And if you're brand new, you don't have it, but you should start it out with the same logic. So let's look over here on things I want you to start thinking about. Now, if you have a business already, I want you to go through these as a review point, because you may need to update, change, or completely redo some of these things. So the first thing, if you're brand new, I want you to look and say, hey, be clear about what is the purpose of your business. Too often we get in and go, the purpose of my business is to make money. Okay, you need to be looking past just the fact of making money. It's a great reason to start a business, but will it be sustainable when trends change, when markets change, when customer spending changes? Is your product going to be making you money, or does it have an actual purpose behind it that your prospects or your customers can get behind and continue to purchase? Number 2, create a strong business plan. In the last slide of this one, I have an actual business plan for you to click on. It's in my Google Drive. You can download it, and in there you will be able to say, look, I have an actual business plan. It's like 15 pages long, but it's going to ask you these certain questions on each page to say, what is it we can do to build out a plan? Okay. Number 3, get the legal processes actually started and sorted. Get everything to figure out what you have to do. Return policies. You have to do with how do you contractually obligate them once they say yes, they want to do something so that you can get this money. LegalZoom is a great aspect for this. If you're starting a brand new business, you can go to LegalZoom and pay to have your LLC paperwork done and put in. You will fill out a bunch of stuff, but they're going to walk it through the system utilizing their paralegals, and they're going to do a lot of that work for you. That would be very time consuming and very painful for you to try to learn at the same time as build a business. Okay. Number 4 is nail your marketing plan. You need to decide where you're going to go after your prospects. Where do they hang out? Where are they at? So that you can put a marketing plan together to get that. And then I would suggest learning how to hand that off to a virtual assistant or somebody, or maybe an agency, somebody who is well versed in marketing that can keep the leads, prospects, and the people coming in for you to fulfill. Create sales projections. Start sitting down. You're going to do, the big wild ass guess in the beginning of what you think can happen. But as you go, you're going to start changing your sales projections to go with what your success rate is. And you'll have to keep track of the stats. Have a concrete financing plan. Like I said before earlier, most of us are bootstrapping it. We are paying for our own companies, which means I'm taking the money I've already earned from doing something and putting it into the business. Then as I actually make money in my business, I use that money instead of being profit, woohoo, let's go spend it on something foolish. I put it back into my business to go into my marketing plan or my legal expense, right? And put things in there, or maybe to a virtual assistant or an additional person to work with you to do that. But you want to set up, do you have a concrete financing plan? And if you don't, that's okay, but understand it will limit you later if you don't have the ability to pull out money. And it could be something as simple as a business credit card where you earn things, where you earn money back. I have my business account and my business cards themselves for the credit card, or using the debit card gives me reward points. It's still $40, $50 a month based on spending, but that's $40 or $50 that I get to put back into the checking account to go and purchase other things to keep things going. Okay, and then take it one day at a time. That's really what I want you to understand when it comes to this, is that there's going to be days that you are just a hero, and there are days that you're going to feel like a zero. And it's going to happen consistently. I want you to look out long term. You have to go back to number 1, which is what is the purpose of my business, so that you can stay focused and go through with those things. Let's also come back over here. How do we do the refinement process? Okay, which is, what is the strategic planning that we're going to put together to come in? So I need you to look at it and say, what is that guiding thing, that North Star, that point that's going to keep us moving down? So you're going to go through and look at, it's broken out for you. What's the vision, right? What do you want? What values do you have? What is important to you as values? What methods, which means how do you get the vision met with keeping your values? What obstacles are in your way? What is something you're going to have to look at? A lot of times it's going to be employees, right? The 3 things for business are product, people, and process. So obstacles could be, I have no process, or I have no people, and all I have is my product idea that I want to put together. Okay, and then measures. How the heck are we going to keep track of all these things? And that's what goes back to that first slide that was there, which says, break out. How are you going to track who's your great customers, right? Who's a raving fan? Who's a great customer? Who's a good customer? Who's a customer, right? And who is just a spectator that hangs out and accidentally clicks buy on some of these things. So that's what you're going to look at in here. And I'll give you a copy of this in the notes. Here's what I want you to think about now. Whether you've started your business or not, if you have a business, great. Think about adding additional products or services. And you go, Joe, what am I supposed to add? Well, that's what this is here for. If you look at all the circles here, what will people pay for? People will pay for a way to make more money. They'll pay for a way to feel better. They'll pay to give you, if they can get the result of better relationships. They will pay you to save them time or to make their performance better than what's there. They'll actually pay you to experiencing something. They'll pay you to look better. They'll pay you to protect themselves. Hello, insurance company, right? All my agents out there, they will pay you to make sure they are protected. If you don't have a beauty line, if you don't have the ability to make people look better, then you're not going to pick that bubble. If you look at it and say, I can show you how to make more money, which is the whole point of everything we do in war games, is to say, we're going to make more money. I want to teach you every time I go live, I want you to learn how to sell one more product today. And that means every day you work, you should be able to implement what you have already learned again. And now you should be selling so many more products that you need to scale and figure out where to go with it. Okay. And then the last part on this one is the business plan. How do you build out your business plan? So this link is here. I will put that underneath this one. This was the one that I owed you guys for the technical difficulties. So we are caught back up. I will dump this up into the group. I hope everybody is killing it. It's about 1 a.m. right now. So I'm going to tell you that I'm going to break out, drop it into the group. You got another recording coming up later for tomorrow, but go out and sell something. Thanks, everybody.